Okay, we're live. For those who are confused, I went live without the intro because StreamYard just a few minutes ago gave me an alert that they were having issues with YouTube going live, but I can see on the YouTube side that we are indeed live. So I think it's working.
It worked.
Cool.
Well, that's that.
So intro-less wet your plants.
I mean, it'll make Matt happy. Matt doesn't like intros.
Now I was trying to solve the mystery of who Aquarium Fantasy is backstage.
Who is Aquarium? Oh, it's Henry.
It's Henry Figueroa.
Hi, Henry. I like the new name. That's good.
I didn't even realize, like, I'm used to seeing letters and circles for people who don't have logos, so I didn't even realize the H doesn't match the name.
Oh,
and then
yeah,
I looked,
right.
and yeah, I saw initials HF on his handle. So, yeah, there we go.
Nice. Most like, OMG, Kelly, yay. Oh, I guess Steven's here too.
Yeah, I have to click the go live button at least.
I mean, he has an important job.
I gotta do something around here.
Oh, so I was telling Steven, it's so hot here. It's 97 degrees. That is without, it is not terribly humid. It is windy. And so, like, oh, it's just so hot. So
and
hot.
It's fun. Well, I mean, it's really, 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 really humid. So it's
here is not that humid.
Raining, so it's like 77 here right now.
Yeah. It's I think what is our it feels like 103. So it's not that humid because it's 97 out. So feeling like 103 is not that humid. But it's windy, so things are just desiccating out there. Ugh. But last week when I streamed, it was only 67 out. So we're in this little heat dome. It's like statistically the most above temperature part of the country right now is.
I bet it's miserable.
Yeah,
but guess what?
Bad.
Guess what? Bad. Speaking of hot, how hot is it over there?
How's it going?
It's brutality.
A little bit. It's like 90 degrees today, something like that.
Oof.
Oh, man.
Brutal.
So how's it going? What kind of rotalas are we planting today?
I was thinking of some orange juice, something nice and refreshing for this hot day.
That's a good one.
A cocktail.
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
Yep. No, I've got a bunch of palm plants that I just picked up at the club auction Saturday.
You got a bunch of terrestrial plants.
Will they pond?
Some of them will pond.
Okay.
Many of them will not.
Okay.
I mean, we all have to do trial and error. I put some terrestrial stuff in my pond too, and some of it
works. And like I do different new plants every year, and I just had two that I'm like, well, they won't pond. So you know, but yeah, I wouldn't call any of those other than like the Canna. That's a classic pond plant. I mean, it's also a classic landscaping plant, but the others.
Okay. So yeah, I was just bidding on stuff that I thought would look good at the pond. Latoya was there helping me out with a few of them, and then we went to a greenhouse farm stand type thing afterwards, and she gave me some suggestions.
Yeah, so let me look at. So Tim gave me a list of everything that he got.
I've got them all next to me. If you want me to pull them out.
Just pull them up, and I'll tell you what I feel about them.
So we already mentioned this one here, the Canna lily.
Yeah.
That's a Canna. And many Cannas do well in ponds. Not every Canna. I would say about 85% of Cannas pond well. It's hard to know.
Does it say what kind, and do you know what, or like which ones do well in ponds?
It does not say which type of Canna lily it is. I got 3 or 4 different color varieties.
Okay.
If Scotty's here, he might have the information from my group auctions. There was a lot more detail on there versus on the sticker.
The best Cannas ever, the ones I gave to Steven.
The pink Canna.
The pink Canna. I mean, they're sold as pink Cannas, but I think they're Longwood Gardens Erebus pink. And they are amazing.
And there's another one for us.
Calla lilies do okay in a pond. This
one was white.
Yep. They do okay in ponds. They are not perennial where you live. Neither are Cannas, so you can lift them at the end of the season, or you can treat them like an annual. Either one, but it's too cold where you live. Same with me. Our climate is not that different, so
Pretty. I don't know what
Callas
that
are
is.
nice. Cannas are nice, though apparently Zenny hates Cannas, so there you go.
Why do you hate Cannas?
It's a
purple
calla lily.
Okay.
There's a calla, and they do good in ponds. They do good.
So why do you hate the canna lilies?
Why do you hate Canna, Zenny? Let us know. But I guess I could see it. You know what? I have things I hate too.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. Like most stem plants, including
I do.
Rotala.
I mean, like Rotalas.
Mm-hmm. This one here's another canna lily.
It's another Canna.
Oh, is that like the African one?
There are
I don't know.
million different
like,
Cannas. There are
it's almost
so
like
many
a brown
different
purple.
And some of the bronzy ones haven't done well for me. So
yeah, I got one like that. I got it from KJE, and it didn't do well for me. But
yeah, I mean,
speaking of
every
KJE,
Canna does well.
I did want to mention. I don't know if everyone saw KJE's post and also Michael's Fish Room's video. And KJE is going through a very tough time right now. He was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He is closing up shop. And the best way to support him right now during this time is to just go buy his stuff from KJE Aquatics.
It doesn't look like he has really many pond plants, or if any pond plants left in stock, but he has dry goods left in stock.
Yeah.
We all need fish food.
Right.
Indeed.
So
yeah, I was on there yesterday. There were like 2 aquarium plants, no pond plants at all.
Yeah.
Well, that's good that the inventory is going, because I mean that's the most perishable stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
We all need fish food, so you maybe stock up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he definitely carried the highest quality fish food out of anybody. So
with the Dr. Basiliers.
A good
so
selection.
Basler's my favorite that he's got.
Yep. Yeah.
Cool.
So this next one, that's this here.
I couldn't read the tag. You've got to help us out. So that says does that say it's a stone crop?
Vera Jameson. Yeah, stone crop, Vera Jameson.
Okay, so stone crops are sedums. They are 100% not pondable. They are succulent. Those are probably frost hardy in your zone, depending on the sedum. I'm guessing yes. They prefer dry conditions. That you don't need to water them much. They're very low care. Put them someplace
around the pond, near the pond.
Someplace with lots of sun. Lots of sun. They'll do just fine. And they'll come back.
All right. Well, this is a perfect spot for it then, because it gets the most sun out of the whole yard, I believe.
Yeah.
It's a little bit shady in the afternoons, but
some of them some sedums look really pretty in the fall. They get pretty flowers in the fall. So, yeah, but definitely not pondable.
Okay. All right. I'll definitely keep that one out of the pond then.
Yeah.
This next one's called an oyster plant.
So that one is usually also known as Moses in the cradle. I would grow that as a house plant. Maybe you can pond it. Yeah, maybe you can pond it. I don't know that it's going to like a ton of sun, honestly, because it's, that is a plant that's kind of a jungle plant. It's usually where we live, it's grown as a house plant.
So something near a window, but not in a window.
Well, it could be in a window. I mean, your house is not as bright as baking outside. So it can take a little more shade if you plant it outside. It's not going to be hardy. So Moose says that purple plant will handle full water and less light. Yeah, I mean, it probably can pond, but not in a full sun pond. And I think if I would choose a full sun pond if I had an option, because
Okay.
Flowers.
yeah, you could plant it in a container in the shade. You could plant it as a house plant. You could plant it in the landscape in the shade if you wanted, but it will die in the frost. So
Okay.
Moose has it in
So
all his tanks
I'd
and
have
some
to be
outside.
moving it.
yeah,
So that's one I definitely have to move in for the wintertime then, right?
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, but I treat lots of things just as annuals, and they just die, and I replant them. Like that's just part of gardening. So,
Yep.
but it's
Yep.
definitely not going to survive the winter unless something very climactically wrong happens. They'll probably
Right,
die
right.
in the first frost.
Would it survive my winter? Because I like that plant. It's pretty cool.
Possibly. It's a cool little plant, and it's called Moses in the Cradle. And if you look at the reproductive strategy of it, like the flowers of it, you'll see it looks like the flower is in a little boat.
Oh, okay.
Sweet.
Yeah, like Moses floating down the stream. So it's a kind
Super
of
cool.
Tradescantia. But
Tradescantia annularis.
Annularis, there you go. So I've
I
never
know this
called
one.
it oyster plant, but common names. There's lots of them.
Yep. This one here I don't think is a pond plant. I think I'll have to grow it outside the pond. There's no label on it.
So I am growing that one hydroponically. It might pond well, but it's gonna roast in full sun.
What is it?
Okay.
It's a Tradescantia. It used to be called Wandering Jew.
Oh,
People
that
call
one.
it
Yeah.
Wandering Dude. You can put it in a container in the shade. People grow it as annuals up in our neck of the woods. You could grow it as a house plant.
It's in Lillian's terrarium. It's doing pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's really easy to grow, but it's not gonna like super hot. Sun.
Okay.
So, yeah,
All right.
more of a house plant or an annual shade annual.
And this next one also has no label to it.
So that one is either a sedum or a kalanchoa. I think it's a kalanchoa, but I don't know because it's not flowering. Kalanchoas, I mean, they're usually going to be houseplants that like a lot of bright sun. Not going to pond because they're succulent. You could plant it around the pond. The frost, I'm guessing, is going to kill it if it's a kalanchoa. If it's a sedum, it might make it. Oh, good point. I think it was Alishon just mentioned. Deer love the sedum flower. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I don't really have any deer pressure where I live, because I live in the city. I have a lot of cat pressure, but I've
never seen a deer in the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's just kind of not as much of a thing down there. But Tim, where you live, there might be deer pressure. So
yeah, I'm right in the middle of town, so it's extremely rare to see any here.
Yeah, so then not as much of an issue for you. That's good.
Right.
But I have seen a deer going down Main Street at 5 p.m. here. So I mean, there are still deer, but just not as much.
Yeah, I think like once every 7 or 8 years or so, we'll have a black bear wander into town.
Yeah, we definitely don't have those
here.
So Zenny says she pronounces it Kalancho, but I say Kalanchoa, which is how I always learned it. So, yeah.
And this next one here does have a tag, and I've got 2 others with different colors. So these are zinnias.
They're zinnias, definitely not pondable, definitely annual everywhere. Loves lots of sun. The bees love them. The butterflies love them.
This one here, I've got to get some water in.
Yeah.
It's a little sad.
I like to, every year, I just throw down a couple packs of zinnia seed. They grow from seed really well. I would not pay any money for zinnias because they're so easy to just grow. So, but they're pretty. They are annual though. And what I would do is I would just take that top flower and I would just pinch it right off right now, because then it'll start branching out more and you'll get more flowers. So Moose asked me, have you heard impatiens love marginal growth? Or sun patients. I haven't tested it, but my guess is they wouldn't do that well because they like to dry out between waterings. And if I overwater them, they don't bloom as well. But you know what? You can try it. I've tried all kinds of plants and they've surprised me. Like, for instance, begonias like to dry out between waterings. And I found begonias that pond well. So, and impatiens are cheap plants, so you could try it. If you have, but they remember they like they like shade. They like shade. Sun patiens will go either way.
We lost
We
him.
lost him. We lost him. He's gone to the rotallas. He's back with his rotallas. So.
Well, you told him too many of his plants won't pond. I think he was just disappointed.
That's not to say that they won't be nice additions to his life.
Yeah, just pond adjacent.
Or houseplants.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, that's, the thing. If you go to an auction and you don't know what you're buying and you get a little spend happy and maybe you end up with a bunch of things that you don't know what to do with them. It's the classic Scotty problem.
Yeah, I don't know what I would I wouldn't know what to buy. Like, I would see stuff that looks pretty, but then I would be obsessively taking pictures of it, Googling it, and I would be outbid because I would be like,
well,
looking at my phone.
Google Images, I mean, it's now so fast to identify a plant with an app that,
Yeah.
it can save you from bidding on something, but.
New name in chat, KL26 Malawi Kari.
Welcome.
A fish breeder in Africa. Cool. Welcome.
All right. That's pretty cool. We are not betta fish breeders and we're not in Africa. So
no. Betta fish breeding seems like a very involved thing though. Like there's a lot of individual containers to deal with whenever they
and
get
then
of age.
A lot of babies to find homes for.
Yeah.
But I have known some betta breeders.
I've seen videos of those betta breeding farms where literally it's just a sea of bottles or jars on the floor, and they're like walking on top of the jars very carefully so that they can feed every single one of them and do water changes and stuff like that. It's crazy.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, it looks very labor intensive.
All right. He or she, I guess we don't know, asked, can you please tell me how to take care of aquatic plants? Well, I mean, that's kind of a broad question.
There's a bunch of different ways to do it. We have our ways.
In general, they need adequate light, CO2, nutrients. They need proper water conditions, depending on the plant. So,
yep.
Well, thanks, Moose. Moose says my tanks look fantastic.
Pump them. Dee pop them in a pond, please. Probably remove soil.
Okay, so yeah, Dee has a 6-pack of Impatiens found on the road.
Okay.
Well, I don't know, Dee. A lot of your tanks or your ponds are all pretty sunny. They might fry. But you know what? They're free plants. So whatever you want to do is fine. Geek Boy says his way is the only way.
It's been proven by science that his way is the only way that works.
So, what do I think of Boneset as a marginal? I mean, isn't that a prairie pothole plant? I think that might do pretty well. Let me think about it. Aquarium is Boneset.
Welcome back.
Yeah,
and
I think that would do pretty. I think that would do pretty well, Alishon, because it's a prairie pothole plant. So I think it could take some wet feet. Needs a good amount of sun. But I would give it a go. It may or may not work, but I think it's worth a shot. Tim is back.
Yeah,
The Rotalas have freed him.
Nice.
Yeah, sorry about that. My phone got a temperature warning sitting in the sun.
It is.
Yeah, that happens.
I know.
long at all,
Yeah,
did it?
I
20
am
minutes?
definitely not streaming outside today. It is
Mhm.
hot here.
Mm-hmm.
Hot. Oh, and
So-
Rosie says she loves seeing my beautiful garden and your puffers, Steven. Those are cute.
Yep. They're working their shit out for sure.
Figuring it out. That's
Yeah.
good. All right, Tim, what's the next plant?
All right, we'll do this quick so that I don't overheat again. This here's the next plant. There's no label on it.
That's a dragon wing begonia.
I lied. It was hidden. It was down in.
Yeah, that's a
Cool.
dragon wing begonia. I grow lots of those as I grow them as annuals. I don't know, they might pond, but they don't like to roast in the sun. They would prefer to deal with some shade. I grow them in containers. I mean, I have grown begonias in ponds back when my pond was full shade, and it did okay. But it's not what I would call a great pond plant choice, but it is a great container plant, and it will be beautiful if you plant it in a container of soil or just pop it in the landscape, and it will die when it frosts.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and I've tried to take that one in, and it didn't do well. So.
Here's the next one. No label on this one.
That is a kind of Caladium. And it is it will pond well, but most all Caladiums don't like full sun. So Moose says that Moose wants to know how much sun your spot gets.
From about 10 in the morning until about 3-4 in the afternoon.
Yeah, so that's
the pond's right behind me, and the sun is like right there right now.
That isn't full sun, but it is the hottest part of the day of sun. So, I mean, some of these might be okay.
Okay.
But they might fry a little. Like, you could try the Caladium in your pond. Some Caladiums can take more sun than others. And your sun is not, like, full sun for you is not as intense as, like, full sun for Steven.
Right.
Because it's not as hot where you live.
7th layer of hell. Yeah.
It's farther north.
And I don't have anywhere in my yard that gets full sun. I get maybe 4 hours of sun.
Yeah, but the thing is, this is like, I have friends who are like zone 9B in Florida, and like they have to shade their ponds for part of the day, like in the afternoon, because like the sun is just so intense down there. So, but it's not as intense where you live. So you might be able to get away with the Caladiums in your pond.
Okay.
They will not survive the frost. You can take them inside. I have Caladiums growing out of my aquarium. They kind of die back every winter because that window gets so cold. It's on the north side of the house, and my windows suck. Or you can just store it in your basement, like in some dry peat, and then replant them. So Dee Dee says her Caladiums are doing great in her bog. Partial sun. Yeah, partial sun. So it might do well for you. It's worth a shot. They definitely like wet feet. You can also plant them in a container with begonia would look pretty. So either way is fine.
Okay, so maybe leave that one closer to the fence so it gets shaded quicker.
Yeah. And depending on how much sun you have, like Cannas like full sun. They like a lot of hours, like 6 hours minimum of sun to bloom. Otherwise they grow, but they don't bloom that well.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Those do well in your landscape too. Like you could just plant them in your yard.
Okay.
Gina, that is exactly how I feel. I'm like, God, Gina knows every coral.
No, I'm more with Geek. It's just noise. The Peanuts teacher.
When I go snorkeling, I want to be able to live stream it with Gina so she can be in my ear, like narrating everything I see.
That would be awesome.
How great would that be? I mean,
that would literally be the best.
Geek Boy, get on that. I need technology for how to make that happen next time I go on a tropical vacation.
I think it's doable because I've seen live streams on TikTok, at least, of people doing dives, and some of them actually are able to talk underwater, not very well, but you can have like an accompany, the co-host or something who's not underwater.
Right. That's what I want. I want Gina to just narrate it for everyone, and I'll swim.
Yep. So this next one does have a tag, and it's a Caladium. So it's possible that other one might have been a Caladium as well. So
yeah, there's lots of colors of Caladium.
So this one's a red one, and it's actually
that's a nice plant. That one, that's a really good looking Caladium.
Yeah, I think that one was like $10 maybe.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good deal for a Caladium that big. That's a good deal.
Yeah, I think 10's the most I paid on any of the plants. A couple of them came from the dollar table. A couple of them were like 3 for $20, 4 for $20.
Yeah, that's good. So Alishan says that he used a beach umbrella to shade a tub in full sun last year because he had to take down a tree before, so the shade disappeared. That's a good strategy. And I mean, my ponds are really hot right now. I decided not to put any fish in my littlest tubs because they get too hot. So I just put mosquito dunks in there. But if your pond is in ground, you're gonna put in a pretty big one. It's gonna be fine.
This one's gonna be above ground, I decided.
Oh, you did? Okay. Yep. You know, then you can take it down every winter. It's kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So I've got 2 more plants. One of them came from the auction, and then the other one came from my 75-gallon. I got this one for $2 just because I felt bad.
What is that?
Nobody was bidding on it. It's a Zola. It's a
floater.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gonna put that in your pond?
I was considering it almost.
I mean, it's gonna really take over.
I felt bad.
But maybe that's what you want. Maybe you want it to take over. I mean, it's kind of like duckweed, though.
Floater from the 75-gallon.
Yeah, I mean that's always a good.
Yeah,
pond.
I like red root floaters.
Yeah. Especially like you wanna if you don't have any water lilies, you want to get something in there to shade the water for your fish. So I mean, like I don't have a whole lot of floaters because I have water lilies in every tub. So
yep.
Yeah.
All right. So that's all the plants that I've got so far. I do plan to go shopping for some more. Can I flip the camera around and show you the plants for the pond itself?
Sure.
Yeah. So how big is the pond?
It's 100 gallons. I got it from Tractor Supply store.
Nice. So you got a big stock tank. That's good.
Okay, so this here's the pond.
Yeah, mine's a 150, but it's the same footprint, or the same shape.
Yeah.
Rather.
Good.
And over here in this corner here, we did have a bunch of daylilies. So those are going to be replanted somewhere. I'm not sure if they're going to be planted in.
Just throw them on the compost pile. Just set them on fire. Daylilies are the rotalas of the landscape. I hate daylilies.
Yep.
Also, like, you think you dug them out, but you maybe didn't, because like they're real invasive.
The roots.
We've lost Tim again.
Yeah.
It's very.
Some today.
There he is.
And I was going to do like 2 tiers of it. Do like 4 inches on this first one here, and then maybe cut it off right about in here on both sides, and go up about another 4 inches or so.
So you are going to bury part of it,
or maybe like 8 inches of it at most.
Okay. I mean, burying it will help regulate the temperature.
So I wouldn't really call it buried, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, but the more like earth that surrounds it. It will regulate the temperature. It will help things overwinter if you decide to overwinter whatever you put in there. You know, it also helps it from getting too hot.
Mhm.
Oh, all right. Yeah, that's something I definitely didn't consider when getting a black one. So
Yeah,
I didn't either.
I mean, the sheer water volume, because water has such a high specific heat, it helps it from keep it from getting too hot. Like my tubs right now are just baking in the sun, and they're painted in black on right, on the inside, and they're not too bad because they're big, and I also have a little pump in them for circulation, and it really helps.
Yeah, and you saw last year how my pond got in like 95, 96 degrees, but I didn't have nearly as many lily pads last year as I do now. It's almost completely covered.
It makes a huge difference to shade the water, and nothing shades better than a water lily. I guess other than you could just let it grow completely with duckweed, but
water lettuce. I do have water lettuce in there. It's kind of filling in the gaps between the lily leaves.
I always plant water hyacinth every year, which is very appropriate where Tim lives. It's not invasive where he lives. So, water hyacinth is always nice. And Tim, I can send you a water hyacinth.
Okay, thanks. You're the best.
Yeah, I'll send you one. Not this week though, because it'll just melt in the mail. It's too hot.
Right.
I'll wait for it to cool off.
I've only been out here for half an hour and I'm melting.
Yeah, I mean it's 97
outside. Crypts do melt easy, right?
So Jeff asked if we could do a tour of my aquariums. Like, here you go. Tour done. Also one ugly tank. But yeah, I only have 3 tanks, so.
You haven't broken the third one down yet?
No, I did move some of the fish outside, but I don't want to move any more outside this week. It's too hot. They're just gonna wait till it cools off a few degrees. So
KL26 earlier said they have 3 aquariums trying to make a planet aquarium, but the problem here is they're using chlorine water, so the plants didn't grow up properly.
Okay. Can you get a dechlorinator where you live? Otherwise, aging the water is a good idea.
Get gas out.
Yeah, so you just put the water in a tub or a stock tank and just wait a couple days. However, in my experience, plants don't really care about chlorine. It's the fish that care about the chlorine and the shrimp. So I don't think that that's your problem.
I guess if it was like a high amount of chlorine, would it harm the roots or something?
Yeah, the thing is like chlorine is pretty unstable, even chloramines. I mean, that's why it's used as a disinfectant, because it's unstable. It's really not a problem. So, yeah.
Thanks, Funk. I appreciate your dedication. So KL26 also asked any tips for avoiding algae, and Geek makes a good point. Keep water out of your tank is the only 100% solution to algae.
There you go. Yeah, I would say that regular maintenance, water changes, getting rid of organic waste. I would say good fertilization. If you use CO2, which I do, making sure that you have good levels of it. But, we all deal with some algae sometimes.
And I guess knowing your water hardness kind of gives you an idea of like how much of an uphill battle the algae is going to be.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, good maintenance goes a long way.
For sure.
The nicest looking tanks are ones that usually get taken really good care of. So, Tim, what's going on over there? Are you overheating or?
Yeah, it's hard.
Personally, I think my phone's fine for now. Hopefully, maybe.
Okay, cool.
But so the next thing I was going to do with this pond, I was gonna get some more of the cedar and kind of box it in a little bit, and up top in the back towards the fence, I wanted to put a little platform, have a little waterfall coming down, and
That'd look really good. I mean, I've seen some people do some really cool stuff with that. Obviously, I'm never going to do that. That sounds like a DIY project. Not going to DIY. Not going to drink a beer while I do it.
Oh, I definitely will. It's definitely a craft.
But yeah, that could look really good. For waterfalls, if you can get some really flat stone for it to go over, like some limestone or something, it can make a really pretty spillway. So yeah, there's cool stuff you can do.
Yeah, there's a spot close by, just outside like the diamond mines here in town, where I could get a whole bunch of slate.
So is that like the Herkimer diamond mines? Do you live by that?
Yeah. Yep. Herkimer's like 5 minutes up the road.
Okay, I drove through there because we went to Vermont a couple years ago.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
Yeah. So I know where that is.
Oh, we lose your camera.
Now you all know where I live.
You can give us your address and your social security number. And
wasn't that satellite image enough yesterday, Kelly?
I know his grow zone and his zip code. Moose points out that I DIY'd my plant wall, which is true.
Mm-hmm.
I did DIY my plant wall under duress. I did not want to.
And no matter how far back close to the fence I sit, the camera's still in the sun, so hopefully I don't die again.
I mean, it's a risk.
It happens.
A risk. I mean, you can always go in. You can always go in your house if you want, because we can talk things through in the house.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, maybe I will.
So that hydroponic wall, I think now they have it on Amazon. If this is the same one.
The Aqua L. It's made by Aqua L. And I wish it didn't suck so much because I wouldn't mind a couple more of them because they're kind of modular. Like, I mean, now that they're going, they're great. But yep, VersaGarden Aqua L. God, so many problems.
But I could get it for $0 because I have so many Amazon Visa rewards points now that I don't use.
I mean, maybe they've updated it for the U.S. market.
There's no reviews on it currently, so
be the first.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I want to be the first.
I mean, $129 plus shipping is still a lot of money, which is about what I paid.
Yeah, free.
Oh, it's Prime.
Shipping, so.
$129. Yeah, I think with shipping, I paid about $140, but then I had to buy a light because the light didn't work, and I had to buy a pump, and I had to buy tubing, and I had to buy adapters, and I had to buy another $50 worth of stuff and DIY it. And I hate DIYing.
They make it look so enticing and easy.
They do make it look very plug and play, but it's just not quite right.
Those LED tubes. Yeah.
Well, and it's so faint that like I can't even see that it's on unless the lights in my house are completely dark. So it's just really frustrating. But I mean, I have it going and it's really awesome now after a lot of work. And it's now no work at all. I mean, it just grows and I don't know, once a year I trim it.
Sweet.
So, yeah. But it's almost a good product. Almost.
So what you got going on in that? Is that the 75 behind you?
Yeah, that's the 75, and it is water change day, as you can see.
Are you still injecting?
That's good.
Is that your CO2 tank?
It will be once I figure out the canister filter. I still haven't got it to not leak for me.
Oh, that's a problem.
Right.
Which canister is it?
The Fluval FX6, I believe. FX4 maybe. Or
It's leaking on you?
Oof.
Is the
it's got to be one of the 07 series because that's the fitting I bought a replacement for.
Oh, okay. Is it leaking out of the fitting or out of the side?
Yeah, it's right out of the fitting, and no matter how tight I get it down, it's still leaking. Dang. I grabbed a new ribbed hose for each side and everything, and it's still leaking on me. So I'm going to try the new fitting and see if maybe I just strip something out.
Crazy. And I know like you have the rubber connectors on the end of the ribbed hosing, and are those actually glued on, siliconed on?
No, I didn't silicone those on.
Oh, they absolutely have to be when they're out of the water. Yeah, like the ribbed hosing and connecting to those rubber connectors, they have to be sealed because there's too many gaps. And I had the same problem whenever I was trying to install an inline diffuser and forgot about that part. But yeah, just putting some silicone adhesive.
No, the inline diffuser I had on a regular green hose, like a regular vinyl hose.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think that might have stretched out the fitting or stripped it out or something. And that's why it wouldn't seal when I went to just do it without the CO2.
Gotcha. Yeah, hopefully you get that fixed because that tank needs more plants.
Needs some love, but no rotalis.
No,
maybe not any rotalis.
No stems at all.
No stem. There you go. No stems.
Nice.
Your name is Crypt Keeper. Maybe you should have some crypts. Maybe.
Yep. I've only got 5 or 6 varieties of crypts in there right now. Got the Mioya right directly behind me. I've got Spiralis in there, Jacobsoni pink, Red Wendtii.
I've never had Jamesoni pink.
Cilia, Eusteriana.
I would like that plant. That's a plant I would like someday.
I think it might be in this tank behind me, but if I know.
It might be. I didn't even put any plants down on the plant request list, Steven. I just put a fat kitty magnet.
It's a good choice.
You thought you'd look more ghoulish. I mean, he looks
so trustworthy and not dead at all.
Very much alive.
Good.
Yep.
Well,
that's good. Pure and Shrimple says it's cold in the UK and he has a jumper on. That's not my existence right now. Yeah.
Pure and Shrimple is a lady. That's Marie.
Marie, hello, Marie. And a chilly lady apparently because she has a jumper on.
Don't need no jumper. I don't even wear a jumper in the winter here.
Do you own any jumpers? Do you own any?
I have a jacket.
Do you have a sweatshirt at all? Do you have any hoodies?
No, definitely no hoodies. Probably have a sweatshirt. I have a jacket that I wear under
in a jacket.
Extreme circumstances, and I have one pair of jeans.
Wow, I've seen you in your jeans and your jacket.
Oh yeah, it was cold that day. We went to Barnhill. That's right.
Poor Brooklyn was freezing.
Mm-hmm.
We had to hold hands because her little hands were so cold.
It's like Grant and Shelby anytime they come up any farther north of like Carolina.
Yeah, they're acclimated to the environment. I never really adapted. So, Jenna wants to know if you watched.
I got the whole series. I watched all of season 1, 2, and 3, and it seems like they repeat the same story every 5 episodes.
It's
not a very deep show.
Yeah,
yeah, it's not renowned for its writing or anything. It entertained us as like 8-year-olds at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I was a teenager when that show was on. And I don't think I really watched it. I'm not really into horror, so I never really have been. Even just silly campy horror, I'm just not really into it. So Dee Dee apparently went a little nuts with her Keith orders.
Oh yeah,
That Dee Dee.
little cray cray.
That Dee Dee. She's nuts. Well, Tim, so you bought a pond.
I did.
You bought some plants.
Just a couple.
What fish do you think you're going to put in this thing?
Oh, I've already got some shrimp in there.
Of
Oh, I
course.
didn't show you guys. Oh, so while I was down in Pennsylvania for the meeting, we stopped at that fish place, and I picked up 20 ghost shrimp. I've never kept them.
All right.
I figured I'd toss them in the pond for 39 cents a piece. So those
Yeah,
are
why not?
some, as well as some red cherries. So I've got like 20 red cherries and 20 of the ghosts.
Yeah, there you go.
I probably put 100 neocols in my pond in the last year. I have no idea if any of them are alive because there's so much algae and rocks and just stuff in the pond.
And you're not sticking your face in there, so
no.
you don't tear down your pond. Why would you? You don't live in a super cold place. So yeah.
And then to finish it all off, I'm going to be getting some guppies from Brienne's Fishfam. She's got some really nice tequila sunrise guppies.
Guppies. So you'll take them out at the end of the season.
Yep. At the end of the season, I'll take them out, and whatever's in there, I'm going to bring to the Clash auction.
All right. That's a pretty good plan.
Cool.
So, and as for other plants, I mean, you've got some plants.
We need more aquatic plants in there, right?
You need more plants. So, I mean, what Stephen and I have done that I think has worked really well is we have these fabric pocket planters that you can get on Amazon, and they hang over the side. You can anchor them with zip ties. I have a metal pond, so I've used shower hooks, and they're like $15, and they work really good for planting in. Okay. For bigger things like your Canna, I like to plant those in. I mean, you could use anything. I would anything that didn't have holes. I don't like to have holes because Cannas are heavy feeders. So I planted mine in like big feed pans, but just you could use something you found around the house, and it can be pretty big because Cannas will spread.
Okay.
The Cala, you could do the same thing. You said you have safety's orb you can plant in that. What I would use for a medium is 1 part safe or 1 part dirt from your yard and like 5 parts safety's orb.
Okay.
Yeah. And then get pond tabs.
That's real nice.
Yeah.
This picture is from like February, March. It's been a while since I'm taking a photo, but you can see these pockets around here. Some are just full of algae and muck. But I will say that these zip ties, they broke. And I had to replace them. Probably the sun just baked them and they snapped.
Yeah.
And I got ones that are supposedly, I don't even know if these were UV resistant, but I got ones that are supposedly UV resistant and they're thicker. So maybe they'll hold a little better.
I have mine from shower hooks, but I have metal pods, and they are, it's a thinner wall to hang it from. So that's why I use that. You can do your Cannas, like Keith says, into pea gravel. They do fine, but I think they do a lot better if you plant them like you would a water lily, which is something that has no holes in it, so you can fertilize and using the clay substrate. They do a lot better that way. I've done them both ways, and they do a lot better. They'll bloom a lot more.
Yeah, these were growing in a mix of organic soil and some sand or pea gravel or something like that.
And that Canna right now, it looks way different, doesn't it, Stephen? It's like totally filled in.
Oh yeah, this is like the first stalk of it, and then now I think there were like 4 or 5 of these. I sent you 2, and then when I was pulling it out, like more came with it, and so it was easier to just. I went ahead and planted them next to the pond down here instead of back in there. It was easier.
Yeah, and I mean, they will, and that's why I like to plant them in like a wider container. You know, you could use a Tupperware box. I use feed pans because that's what I use for my water lilies. You know, but the safety orb mixed with some dirt from your yard, get some pond tabs because they do feed pretty heavily to keep them blooming. So, and I would do your Calla the same way. You could also plant it in gravel. I mean, it will do okay. I just think it does a little better. Now, you're missing out on some of the plant's filtration of the water that way, but I don't really care. I mean, my stocking levels are so low in my ponds that it just doesn't matter. Yeah. So Dee Dee says I'll have to try that. My cannas have bloomed in the pea gravel, but they don't grow tall. You know, it also really depends on the kind of canna, Dee Dee. Some cannas do better than others. Some grow taller than others. My favorite cannas are the Longwood Gardens. I think they're called Erebus, Erebus. I got them from Lily Ponds, and they were just sold as pink cannas. I've never had cannas do this well. They're so nice. And Ted Coletti also mentioned the Longwood Gardens cannas are really, really good. That said, some other cannas do pretty well too, but some don't do well at all.
Yeah, the canna that I had next to that one, it hasn't gotten much taller and it hasn't bloomed yet.
Yeah, but if you were to move that to your yard, it would do really well. So, and I don't know why that is. Like 85% of cannas do pretty well. Nothing does as well as that pink canna. So, you know, there not every canna ponds well. But yeah. Do I use
KL26
pumps?
and Planet Aquarium. So water movement is important in Planet tanks to get a lot of the particulates and waste and mulm and stuff off of the plant surfaces, and also distribute fertilizer and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, we use canister filters, Steven and I do. That said,
and I have hang on the back sponge filters, just a bunch of different.
Yeah, you need something. Every tank does better with a good circulation, like lots of water movement. So, well, Foxanne said something up there. She said last year's lilies have 1 million pads, and this year's lilies have baby pads.
Nice.
Well, that's exciting. If you can find a way to fertilize them, but I don't think you can because didn't Peplin drop them like 8 feet into your pond or something?
They have a little grabber thing, right?
You do. They have like they do, and I would like to get one. It's like it's for putting pond tabs into deep pond, like a little, So they make them, but so Keith says his African sunset cannas do well for him. Yeah, I mean, I haven't tried every canna, but I do know that like some do better than others.
I tried it once and failed, and it could have been the sun or like lack of sun, or just like I don't know. But I never give up on a plant after trying it once, so I'm sure I'll try it again.
I think you should move it to your landscape. I think you should just plant it by the pond.
How deep do I want to put these? Like, how far under the water?
You want them at the surface level, so like an inch deep.
Oh, okay. So I don't want to keep them
they
all
want
at the bottom.
No, they want wet feet. They don't want to be drowning. Just wet feet. So I have the surface of the pot. You can see it still.
Okay. Mine are a few inches deeper than that.
Yeah, and that's okay too, but you don't want to go that deep. So I like to elevate things with bricks. works really well. Another thing that would work really well are milk crates because it doesn't take any water volume out.
Yeah, I've got a lot
laundry
of
baskets.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of need to get a little creative with what you elevate things with.
Okay.
I would get a water lily. You can either get one this year or you can wait and I will give you a free one next year.
All right.
Because I divide them every year and I send them to friends and I will happily send you one. So, you know, but if you like are too excited and you want to get one now, like I totally get it because they're really fun. I mean, I would never have ponds without water lilies. They do need some will take a little more shade than others. The one I sent Steven, it does bloom. It would bloom even better if he got even more sun there.
Mm-hmm.
But you should be okay. You know, there are water lilies that will do well.
There you go. Keith's got
Keith,
some in stock.
I thought you didn't have any in stock, Keith. I looked on your site.
Yeah, I didn't see any.
Well, you could get one from Keith. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe he has some not listed. So that's an option if you wanted to get one right now. But otherwise, I'll just send you one. So, you know, because I have 6 of them grow. Yeah, 6 of them.
Okay.
So, you know, and I divide them every year.
Keith a message and see what he still has available for plants.
Yeah. So,
a little bit.
Meanwhile, Craig says winter needs to piss off. Talking about ponds, and he's in the dead of winter.
Oh, well, you know what? Everyone has their season.
Yeah.
Flowers. So, yeah. I mean, if you buy a water lily, make sure you know what kind you're getting. Because if you have like an unlabeled water lily, some of them get really, really big. And some of them stay smaller. Some of them, you don't know what the color they are. Some of them, like, there's some varieties that take a little more shade than others. So that's why, like, I like to...
Barbara Dombin's lily. Cool.
Oh, there you go. That one gets pretty big.
Who's Barbara?
That's a big one. Barbara Dobbins.
Who is Barbara and why does she have a lily?
That one gets huge.
Be good for 100-gallon tub, though? Let's see.
Maybe it would be okay. It's pretty, but I thought that one was pretty big because I thought Lily Ponds classified that one as... Yeah, it's a medium large. It's like 6 feet across minimum. I mean, it's okay. It will take up your whole pond. It would probably be okay, but it's maybe I would choose a smaller one.
Okay.
It's pretty though.
Geek says get the Victoria Boliviana lily. That's the one that's like a 10-foot leaf.
Yeah, the pads are huge, and someday I want to have that one in I want to have a pond big enough for that. So Keith says he has it in a tub. I mean, you could get it. It's fine. You could get it. You could wait. I could send you one. You can do whatever you want. It's not
also he has another one, but no specific name with yellow flowers.
So there are some yellow flowers, like Chromatella is a nice little one. That one is good for smaller ponds. So, you know.
Cool.
So Coralwork says, I think gardens had a reason to compare lilies. Maybe that's why Barbara has one. You know what? I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Just don't want to know.
So yeah, lily choices.
Yeah.
Try them all.
You can grow lotuses in your pond too. Lotuses are different than water lilies. They are marginals. They are more tricky. But I can send you one next year. I have 7 of them.
So lotuses are the ones that got to be like really close to the surface, right?
Yes. Yes.
And I don't remember what you said about my sunlight, whether I could even
you're
manage
fine.
one.
They can take a little more shade.
It's got to elevate it.
I'll send you a couple next year to try. Because I have some micro lotuses that can stay really small. And I have one really huge one. Dee Dee does great with that plant. So but they're just a little fussier. So, I can send you one of those next year too. But I divide them in the spring. So
the internet is not always correct, indeed.
So CoreWorks asks, do the Amazon variety Lotus packs make any sense? They often clip their seeds. Does that matter? I don't know what you're talking about. What the Amazon variety Lotus packs are? Are they not real lotuses? So you can grow real lotuses from seed. It's a thing people do. They won't be true to variety. They'll probably be really big, which if that's what you're going for is totally fine. It can be fun to grow things from seed. I have grown all of mine from roots because that way, I try to get a lot of the really small ones because I have just small tubs. So, yeah.
How big is your goldfish tub? The first one.
It's 275 gallons, I think.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I have one huge lotus in there, and then I have another small lotus in there. I have a water lily in there, so it has some space. It's pretty deep, and then it has the bog box. So, no.
So KL26 says I have white and
pink
pink
lotus. Do you have lotus or water lily? Because a lot of times people call water lilies lotuses, but they're very pretty. They're fun to grow.
Yeah, the only lotus I have experience with is the one that's not a lotus. It's not just the other. It's the red tiger lotus.
Yeah, and people grow the red tiger nymphea. You can grow that in a pond too. Definitely not hardy where you live. It will bloom. Knowing what color it will be, the pads will get huge. It will completely take over an entire pond. I prefer hardy water lilies. I have one tropical, but the hardy ones are nice because they overwinter so easy for us. I mean, they're hardy in like zones 3 through 10, which is the entire United States except for parts of Alaska. So
Alishon said Ted's Club has a lotus competition where members are given lotus seeds to see who can grow them out.
Yeah, I've heard that before, and they're kind of cool. To get them to germinate, you have to like nick them with a razor blade, and then you put them in a glass of water on the windowsill to soak, to germinate, and you leave them there for a while, and then you plant the seedling out, and you don't know how big they'll be. They could get huge because there are lotuses that need to go in like a 3-foot wide tub and get like 5 feet tall. So not good tub plants, but there are some that are, micro lotuses that stay really, really small. So kind of don't know what you'll get with a seed, but I mean, I would participate in a lotus growing contest. Why not? So
now, I think it's Ted's Club one where you have to be local to be part of it. I feel like it might be.
I don't know. Alishon let us know. So I know Ted is not into lotuses anymore. Like I've asked him if he wants any of them. He's like, nope. He's not really into them. So
what were you saying, Tim?
It sounds like it would be fun trying to grow them from seeds.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a challenge.
Yeah. I mean, I've had mine produce seeds, but, I don't have that much real estate. And I don't have that big. I only have room for one giant lotus. So, yeah. So Keith said he wouldn't let him join because he's 2 hours away and you were denied. Well, there you go.
Dang, you got to be local.
Yeah.
2 hours is too far away, and I just drove 5 to get to the club meeting this past weekend.
Dang.
Well, I mean, I'm not willing to drive to our club at all. It's 2.5 hours because their meetings are on like Thursday nights. And I am just not willing to drive. And it's on the south side of Indianapolis. So I would have to drive through Indy traffic. No.
Well, let me explain. Rob from Flip Aquatics was there giving a talk, so I was kind of obligated.
He's a shrimp guy. He's a shrimp guy. You had to do it.
Shrimp talk. Nice.
Last time I drove down for a meeting was when Grant and Shelby were down there for a talk.
So Alishon says local to Skylands area of New Jersey. He got grandfathered in. Well then. Too far for the rest of us.
I'll be driving a whole 20 minutes to see Grant and Shelby in July whenever they come to Baton Rouge.
Oh, that's so nice. They're such nice people.
They are.
Yeah, they're cool. I wonder if they have any pond plants, Tim. They probably have some water lilies.
I'm pretty sure.
You should ask Shelby. I bet she's got some water lilies. Maybe she could divide one.
I know they've got mosaic plants and mimosa.
Oh, there you go. Those are fun.
They're
animals. You know, they're not going to survive the frost.
But the mosaic is also a stem plant, which, we hate. So.
But it's a cool looking stem plant. I've thought about. The thing is, I don't have any space because I just love water lilies. I don't want to take up any water lilies.
But Kelly, isn't the mosaic plant a stem plant that turns into a floating plant?
Shouldn't. It should stay anchored.
The mosaic kind of floats out at the top.
Yeah, it's just that it requires so much freaking light that only the top leaves, or it's just like it's the leggiest plant in the world, essentially.
Yeah, and the thing is like I don't have much. Once the season gets open or going, the surface of the water is going to be completely taken up by water lily pads.
Yeah, I had mosaics, but the lily, like everything, as soon as it gets shaded out, it's gone.
Yep.
Very volatile in my water.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's fine with me because like water lilies they're where it's at. I mean, they're so cool. I love them.
I really like the look of the mosaic, but you just have to make sure there's space dedicated to it because it will not outcompete a lily.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if I had a tub with no water lily in it, but I can't imagine having a tub without a water lily. Like, I just think that every tub needs a water lily. I mean, I have some that are really, really teeny tiny, and I have some that are big. I have some that have pads like this.
Thanks, Vibes, for the $1.99 super chat with the question: did you make someone else's day better?
Kind of accusatory.
I don't think so.
I mean, I don't know that I've specifically made anyone's day worse.
Neutral day. Yeah. I did no harm, I don't think.
Yeah, I think it's been a neutral day. Tim, have we made your life any better today? I don't know.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, there you go. We've made Tim's life better.
Nice.
Aquarium Fantasy wants people to guess who he or she is. But we know the answer, so don't tell. So Alishon says mosaics did well for him. Needs calm water, so they were clabbered when it rained, but they would come back. There you go. That makes sense.
Yeah, and Luke said the roots of the mosaic are also algae prone since it tends a ton of aerials right at the surface.
Yeah.
I don't even think I got it to that point with all the aerials. I think it's just something else outcompeted it.
Yeah. So Geek Boy says that he couldn't make the claim that he didn't make anyone's day worse. So Cosmin says, I'll make Tim's day better. He just redid his 40-gallon, threw away most of the plants. The pink flamingo crypt he bought, jumped from the clash, made the cut. There you go.
Awesome. I mean, wow. So that's like 9 months of pink flamingo crypt. It's pretty good.
Well done. Well done. Way to have a good rescape. Hopefully your pink flamingo won't die in the rescape.
Yeah.
Doesn't really like to be moved.
I mean, when you threw away all the plants that are rescaped, did the pink flamingo stay put where it is and undisturbed?
It doesn't relatively? Like to move. It doesn't like to move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Still gonna try that one again. this because Zen can't have it and I not have it. So
somebody has to have it.
yeah.
Maybe we could just let Denny have this one.
No.
Okay. So Dee Dee says she has several mosaics. One of them is in the bottom tier of the water fountain, a few inches of constantly revolving water. Well, there you go. So Dee Dee said good luck with it.
Cool.
Okay.
That's cool. It's a pretty plant. Yeah, I just really like growing water lilies. So
I like not. I mean, I guess I probably should be doing more maintenance to them. I did divide it sort of, but it's pretty much filled up the tub completely.
Your water lily?
Playing the mosaic,
Yeah.
tub number 2.
Well, you didn't divide your water lily, right?
I did, but not significantly. Like I had one big chunk of it, and I gave it away, sent it to Candy.
Yeah, that one
I probably could have divided it further.
Yeah, that one Visa, I remember because I used to have that one. I got rid of it. I would divide that one into like 15 plants because that rhizome gets huge. If it's pushing up aerial pads, it means it's overgrown and it's time to divide it. I only divide mine once a year, so I divide it, repot all my lilies once a year. Well, actually, that's not true. The tiny water lilies, I probably will only do those every like 3 years. They just don't need it. So, but I have many I have to do every year. So that's why, Tim, I can send you water lily next year. So,
okay.
Yeah. I'm still very much a beginner to know nothing about pond and terrestrial plants. I like the ones that I don't have to water. That's where I got my start with keeping plants alive.
That is a nice, it's so hot here and it's very windy and it's not super humid out. And so like I've been watering twice a day because I don't want things to get too stressed in the heat. So it is nice to have pond plants because I don't have to water those. Though
I would be willing to water. I just would totally forget, especially to water it twice a day.
I just do it every day. Like I come downstairs, I get an iced tea, and then I just water. And so there's nothing to forget because I do it every day.
Yeah, pothos. So like me, I'm indoor out of the tank plants, pothos, and Berkeley gave me some lucky bamboo, and that just have that sticking out the back of the mosh pit where the window is.
I have a lot of houseplants growing out of my tanks, which is nice because then Fat Kitty doesn't get to those, so we can't destroy them. There's nothing to water. So yeah, I grow a lot of plants out of my tanks. They do really good. So and I don't have to remember to water them, which is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Money plant is good for aquariums. I would agree with that.
Is that Monnier? Yeah. Caroliniana is good too.
Yep. Yeah, and those are good in plants. They grow or in ponds. Like if you end up making a waterfall, Tim, it's nice to plant around the waterfall because it gets pretty little blue flowers. Does really well immersed. All right. So I've grown that one in the bog box before, and it's done really well. So that's when you can put in. Oh, Matt says I'm not supposed to badmouth Fat Kitty. He has destroyed so many houseplants. So many houseplants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting work emails, and I hate to have to cut this short, but work is definitely calling today. I keep
work.
Yeah.
Well, we can. It's kind of hot over in this corner, so I don't mind cutting it short because I would like to be closer to the air conditioner. So maybe we will cut this short. But Tim, you've got. Sounds like you've got a good start. You've got some good plans, and
thank you guys for pointers. Help me out.
Yeah, this is really exciting.
I didn't help at all, just for the record. Like, I don't know anything
You're an
about
emotional
anything.
thing. You did.
You helped.
I click buttons.
You
I
hit
share
start on the
and
stream.
enlarge.
You sent the link. That's
Yeah.
important.
Yep.
You matter.
Thank you.
Yeah, but
So maybe I
thank
made
you.
someone's day better by clicking buttons.
There
You
you
did.
go. You made someone's day better. You didn't
You
make it
allowed-
worse.
You allowed me into the stream twice today, so you definitely did some work.
You're always
helped.
welcome, Tim. We've never had you on Wet Your Plants before, so it's actually been really nice to have you.
You've been very elusive the last year or so.
I know, we have missed you.
Yeah,
So-
I've been super busy with work.
Jobs.
To regain more free time for myself to be able to come back to YouTube more.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, we've really missed having you around. So it has been nice to have you on. So don't be a stranger.
Sure.
We'll have you on again.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Is Funk still here? Did he stay the whole stream? I just want him to prove it right now.
You prove it
Come
now.
on,
Prove it
Aquafunk.
now.
Don't let me down.
If he's not here, I'm not wishing him a happy birthday again today.
Not gonna
No, you
do
shouldn't.
it. He's gotta earn that.
He does.
Yeah. Well, thank you to everyone who's here. Thank you to our super chatters. Thank you. I don't think we got any members, but whatever. Thank you to people who are members.
Well, people who are members, I dropped the member plant form yesterday, so
Oh,
go to my
yeah.
membership tab, check
And
it out.
magnets. And you
Magnets.
can get a fat kitty magnet.
Yeah, if you're international.
Well, I mean, I'm not international, and
I mean, if you're international, you can still fill out the form. Is what I mean. It's
right.
not
You can get
exclusive
a
to
plant,
international.
but you can get a fat kitty magnet. So, and who wouldn't want that? I'm excited for my fat kitty magnet. So, but thank you, everyone. Thank you to the replay crew and our lurkers and all of our new people. We're so glad to have you. And we will see you next week.
Actually, I totally missed that Coro gifted a membership. I'm sorry,
Coro
Thank
gifted
you.
a membership.
And then I just noticed
and-
that Craig did, and I looked at
Craig
my.
just did.
Thank you, Coro.
everyone.
Thank you, Craig.
Thank you so much. We're so generous. Thank you for your support. I think that's all. We'll see you all next week.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.